You can plant the wrong thing for your age. And Feng Shui says that's all it takes. To block your money flow, stress your space, and drain the quiet strength you didn't know you needed. It's not just about pretty leaves. It's not just about what's easy to grow. It's about you, where you are in life, what kind of energy you carry, and what kind of energy your plants are either feeding or fighting. Because in Feng Shui, every age holds a different frequency, and summer makes that energy louder. So if your plants don't match your age, they'll throw your whole space off balance, quietly, daily, deeply. And so if you're here, if you've ever felt like your home looks fine, but it still makes you tired, anxious, or disconnected, thank you for choosing wisdom of Feng Shui. This space isn't just about design, it's about alignment. It's about noticing what's draining you and gently shifting it if this kind of wisdom feels right for where you are. If it made something inside you pause, feel free to like, subscribe, or leave a comment with the plant that's been following you through life. It helps YouTube understand you're not just watching, you're realigning. In Feng Shui, plants aren't just decoration, they're energy carriers, and depending on your age, you need a different kind of energy to stay in flow. In your 20s, it's direction. In your 30s, it's stability. In your 40s, it's healing. In your 50s, it's inner wealth. In your 60s and beyond, it's breath. And when summer heat turns up everything, these plants aren't just pretty to look at. They're protection, correction, and quiet guidance. So today, we're walking through 5 stages of life and planting something that fits each one. Let's begin. Mistake 1, just grow anything that's trending. At 23, Jamie thought she was doing everything right. New apartment, new job, a Pinterest board full of cute plant setups. She filled her windows with monstera, string of pearls, and that one neon pothos everyone swore was super low maintenance. As it looked dreamy, but by the second week of July, the space felt intense. She couldn't focus. Every time she sat to plan her day, her mind jumped around like it was allergic to stillness. She thought it was just the heat, but something deeper was getting scrambled. In Feng Shui, your 20s carry wood energy, growth, ambition, new beginnings, but wood without grounding becomes scattered. And summer magnifies this scatter with fire energy, loud, hot, restless. Trendy plants like pothos or monstera may look great on social media, but they don't hold your energy. They echo it. So if you're already bouncing all over the place in your 20s, those plants won't center you. They'll amplify the chaos. Jamie was in her explorer era. New city, new freedom, but no map. And deep down, she just wanted to feel clear, not perfect, not ahead, just like she wasn't falling behind. She didn't realize her plants were silently feeding the very fog she was trying to walk out of. Imagine a car with no GPS, just music blasting and windows down. Fun? Sure, but you'll miss every turn. That was Jamie's apartment. Beautiful chaos. Zero direction. She didn't need more foliage. She needed focus. Turns out, snake plants purify air while stabilizing room energy. Rosemary sharpens mental clarity through scent stimulation. Mint, when placed near windows or sinks, revives the senses and resets the mood. All of them help regulate the overstimulation common in summer and in early adulthood. Jamie took down 3 hanging vines and replaced them with one tall snake plant near the front door. She added a pot of rosemary next to her laptop and a simple mint plant near her bathroom window. She didn't change her whole aesthetic. She just changed what was quietly controlling it, and by the end of that same week, she started waking up with a little more calm. Not a miracle, but a shift. And sure, her friends still teased her for swapping out her monstera, but she'd smile and say, "I don't need a jungle, I just need to get through Tuesday." Mistake 2, pick easy plants to save time. At 34, Amanda had her hands full. Work, kids, a partner who traveled a lot. She wanted a calm home. But most nights it just felt like one more thing. She'd scroll through plant groups and blogs that promised set it and forget it greenery. So she bought a couple pothos, a snake cactus, something someone called a ZZ whatever. Low maintenance, they said. She didn't know she was choosing low energy return. In Feng Shui, your 30s are ruled by earth energy. Responsibility, building, sustaining. But earth energy needs to be fed, not just aesthetically, but energetically. When you fill your space with plants chosen only for survival, you miss the chance to hold energy, to invite abundance, and to stabilize your mind in the whirlwind of multitasking. Amanda had become the balancer. Everyone's needs came before hers, and somewhere in the background of her own life, she was disappearing. She didn't want anything fancy, just anything that made the house feel like hers. It was like cooking dinner every night, but never plating your own portion. That's what her house had become. Functional, quiet, but empty. Jade plants in Feng Shui represent wealth retention and steady growth. Peace lily purifies the air and softens high-strung energy. And ZZ plant, when placed correctly, creates cash flow and holds earth kai, even in low light. Amanda moved her ZZ plant to the far left corner of the living room, the money corner. She placed a peace lily in the bedroom, beside the pile of unfolded laundry she never got to. And by her desk, she set a small jade plant, right where her invoices and late emails used to sit. The house didn't suddenly glow, but it stopped draining her. That alone was everything. And when her 4-year-old pointed at the peace lily and said, "Mom, this one's not sad like the other plants," she just laughed, neither was she. Mistake 3, keep dead or drying plants around. Nina didn't even realize the aloe had dried out. It sat by her kitchen window, in the same ceramic pot from 3 summers ago, the one her sister gave her. After the divorce, she'd water it sometimes, but the leaves were long gone. All that was left was dust, and the quiet sense of something once living. The pot stayed. She didn't know why, she just couldn't move it. In Feng Shui, your 40s carry transitional kai, the bridge between building and releasing. But when that energy gets blocked, your space holds onto more than just objects. It holds onto patterns, old emotions, and silent stories that weigh on your kai without words. Dead plants are more than neglect. They're energetic anchors. They say, "This part of me didn't make it." And when left untouched, they whisper that maybe, neither will you. Nina was in her quiet fighter stage. She kept going, smiled at work, paid bills, hosted dinner, but there was still a part of her that was too tired to begin again. She wasn't keeping the aloe because it was useful. She was keeping it because it reminded her of who she used to be. It's like saving a voicemail from someone you no longer talk to. Not to hear it, just so it's there. That aloe. It was her silent voicemail. Lavender helps reset emotional energy and sleep rhythm. Peonies are symbols of emotional richness and healed self-worth in Feng Shui. Aloe vera, when alive, calms fire energy and heals microclimates, internally and externally. But only when it's living. One Sunday, Nina finally threw the pot away. Not in a rush, she paused, touched the rim of the soil, then whispered, "Thank you." She replaced it with a lavender pot. The scent filled the kitchen by midweek. Then she placed a peony photo near her mirror, just a simple print in a dollar store frame, and bought a new aloe. But this time for the bathroom, not for memory, but for moisture and light. And when her neighbor came over and said, "Your place smells like peace," Nina just nodded. Some things grow back, and some things don't have to. Mistake 4, use plants just for decoration. Carmen's home was stunning, cream walls, brass details, a shelf full of delicate bonsai and white orchids. Her friends would say, "Your place is like a magazine." And it was, but some nights, when the house was quiet and the wine was soft, she'd sit by the window and feel like all that beauty had nowhere to land. The space was lovely, but it didn't love her back. In Feng Shui, your 50s are about metal energy, refinement, precision, truth, but metal needs purpose. Beauty without energy alignment creates an echo. It looks perfect, but it feels silent. When plants are chosen for style instead of support, they don't hold Kai, they drain it, especially if they're placed randomly, like accessories, not anchors. Carmen had spent her life earning good taste. Now she wanted that taste to mean something, not just put together. She wanted her space to reflect her richness, not just her restraint. But none of the orchids were near where she actually sat. None of the bonsai were near the areas she felt most stuck. It was like wearing expensive perfume, but never letting anyone hug you. That's what her plants became. A silent performance with no audience. Orchids symbolize wisdom, patience, and internal grace. Citrus trees, even mini ones, boost mood, bring joy, and enhance prosperity energy. Ficus elastica, rubber tree, helps ground air energy and creates strong protective flow in open spaces, but only when placed where the Kai needs holding. Carmen moved one orchid to the edge of her reading chair, the spot she never thought to decorate, because no one sees that corner. She placed a mini citrus tree in her sunny breakfast nook and added a ficus to the hallway that always felt oddly hollow. She didn't buy more plants, she just realigned the ones she already loved. And the difference was quiet, but full. And when her friend came by and said, "I don't know what changed, but your place feels warmer," Carmen just smiled. It finally felt like it wasn't just beautiful, it was hers. Mistake 5, ignore the air plant's need. Evelyn had finally made her home quiet. No more work calls, no more morning rush, just morning light, tea, and stillness. But after a while, the stillness turned heavy. Rooms felt paused. The kind of quiet that didn't soothe. It sat on her chest. She decleaned everything, even rearranged the books. But something in the air stayed stuck. That's when she realized most of her plants weren't alive. Plastic leaves, wire stems. And the one real one? A stiff Dracaena she forgot to water last month. Her house looked perfect, but it couldn't breathe. In Feng Shui, your 60s and beyond are ruled by water Kai, fluid, reflective, gentle. But if your space doesn't circulate that energy, it turns stagnant, heavy, dense, overly quiet. Plants are supposed to breathe with you. If they're fake, stiff, or ignored, they break the feedback loop between your Kai and the home. The results? A house that feels finished, but not flowing. Evelyn was in her keeper of peace phase. She didn't need loud joy. She needed gentle rhythm, but rhythm requires movement. And her home, without realizing, had become too still to support life energy. It was like playing a song and pausing it on the last note, but never pressing play again. The melody was beautiful but unfinished. Lucky bamboo grows in water and brings flexibility plus calm Kai. Ferns add moisture to the air and keep energy soft plus circulating. Tulsi, holy basil, supports breathing, spiritual grounding, and emotional immunity, both as a tea and as a presence. They don't just sit pretty, they breathe back. Evelyn placed a lucky bamboo stalk by her favorite reading window, a soft fern by her shower, where she'd started lighting candles again. And she potted a tulsi plant on the porch, where the breeze came in just enough to rustle the leaves. The house didn't get louder, but it exhaled, and she did too. And when her granddaughter visited and asked, "Nana, why do these plants move when I walk by?" Evelyn just smiled. "Because they're alive, sweetie, just like you, just like me. If you're still here, thank you, really. We just walked through 5 stages of life, 5 kinds of quiet struggle, and 5 ways plants can shift everything without saying a word. I'm so glad this space could hold that with you. It means more than you know. Maybe you saw yourself in one of the mistakes, or maybe you're just ready to choose plants for who you are, not just what looks nice in a corner."